Metal Gear Solid, the series, is in good hands. I am stating that in 2025, and I mean it. I can't believe it, but it's there, baby. Super exciting for somebody like me who's been a fan of this series. This is my one and only true love when it comes to video games, but also just media in general. And today we're going to dive into what it means for the future, the present, and the past, all combining to lead me to that statement that you just heard. Yes, it is in good hands. We're going to get into some topics and things that some people might disagree with. And that's the point of this video. Let's have a discussion in the comments. Whether you appreciate or don't this remake for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater, I'm going to dive into it, but also share the series because I've been covering the brand new news, and we got Tokyo Game Show and the reveal for the multiplayer and hints to the future. Basically, been covering this for the past couple weeks here, sharing all the information that we've gathered, and then hoping you guys are also getting involved by doing a call to action about it. Because Konami has a survey for you to fill out about what you want to see next in the series. And I'm not going to go too deep into the conversation, but I did want to basically explore it. All that other way, I appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, and commenting. I hope you're enjoying the content. Let's have some fun and get into this topic. So before we start, if you're new to the series and you're wondering what's going on, hey man, just play the game, come back and see how you feel and share it, because your opinion is just like mine's or anybody else's. We all feel what we feel and think about the game. But Delta did something that I wasn't wanting. Originally, when the Phantom Pain came out, I said, wow, the first open world for Metal Gear. This gameplay is cool. It would be amazing if Snake Eater can have an open world. Since it's in the jungle, it would be interesting. And I really felt like that. And then after playing Delta, I realized, wow, they did the right thing. They actually went and gave us a true recreation, one-to-one. And I was actually worried about that, because if they were going to do one-to-one and miss out on cool mechanics, I would be upset. But a lot of the mechanics, pretty much all the mechanics, have been returned. I'm talking about silly things, holding enemies up and, pointing at their head or below their waist, and they get nervous, and, destroying an enemy's food supply. And you can hear their stomach growls as you go through your mission. And they talk about how hungry they are. Just silly things that I know most people can care less about. But if you're a hardcore fan and you play the game multiple times, it is something that matters, in my opinion. But those are the kind of things that I really love from the series, and I cannot wait for them to continue this trend. If they do, just say, hey, we're going to keep on respecting the series enough to give you the actual same experience for all the other classics. Because let's get real, right? Why make a remake? This is the question. And I think a lot of us feel this at some points when we see all the announcements from other games. Hey, we're making a remake. We're making a remake. And it's like, okay, here we go again. I mean, it's a good game. Why do you need to remake it? But the truth is, for example, Snake Eater's case, I'm going to talk about, it felt really good playing the original version with the over-the-top head view and the mechanics from the old game. And then it felt very good with the newer modern-day controls and setup overall. On top of that, visually, as you're watching some cutscene here, spectacular to play with this graphics. I thought, the visuals from the original was great for its time, of course. We're literally 20 years later, but man, looking at it now with all the extra details, I just humbly cannot believe Konami really hit it on the head, in my opinion, overall from what they did here. And so these are the kind of things that I personally, humbly now basically They're like, yeah, you guys got it. You guys got it. You did the right thing and you made exactly what we wanted as fans. So for me personally, you know, those are the kind of things that matter most, if we're being honest. And one thing that I want to kind of mention here is that now that we know, and I'm not going to cover this today, so please go watch my 3 last videos, but basically I talk about Tokyo Game Show, what's coming, what they're going to be doing for that. Big deal for Konami. They're like on top. They got Silent Hill coming out, Silent Hill F coming out, and a whole bunch of other games, a bunch of big plans and things that they haven't revealed. Then they have this Metal Gear series that just released a remake from a masterpiece, and it's just as good experience. If it's your first time playing it, wow, I'm jealous of you guys. But I had a good time as a returning fan. And now the bigger thing is that on top of that, they're going to do the Metal Gear Hotline show, which I cover on the channel. And they basically said in that show, they are going to also give you a deeper look into the multiplayer. And then they asked in the survey, what game would you want remade? So they basically give you options. And personally, I want release order. So like the oldest games first, because I think like those are outdated. Nobody wants to play pixelated games if they can get a graphically stunning game. You know, I know that some people are hardcore and they're retro fans, and that's fine. But personally, I would rather something new, something fun, something different. That's just how I am with everything. And so, you know, that's my opinion, but that's okay. Now, the other part of it, my video, I talk about how if they're going to also talk about volume 2, because they put it in the survey, like, hey, you want to hear about volume 2? Is that something you want to hear? And the answer is yes. We should all tell them, hey man, get on it. You know, get volume 2 going and make it happen. And those are the kind of things that we haven't got to do. Well, not that we haven't got to do, we haven't got to see from them just yet in that scenario. So I personally want them to do the volume 2 with MGS4 as a focus. Without MGS4, a volume 2 is not going to be as relevant. And I'm afraid that they might not put it in there because it's such a big game and they might have to do a lot of coding and all that stuff, you know, technical stuff. But if we request it and we demand it, I think that we can possibly, again, take it with a grain of salt. Please, please, please. But let's just imagine they do end up doing that. It would be spectacular, in my opinion. That's just me. But it's up to you guys to tell me what you're feeling, what you're thinking when it comes to this. Share it in the comments and then go hit that survey and see for yourself. If you have a different game you want them to add into volume 2, share it. I'm not trying to be biased, but the reason I want 4 in there is because it's the hardest one to port. That and Peace Walker are the only ones I can't play on PC or current consoles that are out. At least not officially, unless somebody does some type of hack. But yeah, we don't condone those behaviors. But with that in mind, I wanted to kind of get into reasons why I feel this remake is spectacular. I watch Ocelot, my favorite character, by the way. He's been in like 5, 6, 7 games of the 9 series, about 5 of them. And he's spectacular in every single one of them. But in this game, especially, you get in his introduction and he learns who he is through this game and playing and fighting against Snake, basically redefining him, making fun of him with this detailed gun that we get right here, for example. And it's like, wow, like you can really see the details. You can really see his face and his emotions. And it's a fun and exciting thing. And I think that just that alone humbled me to say, wow, this remake, they did it right. And it's the best it could be. And I would hope that you guys also feel something like that. You don't have to say that's the best remake or anything, but you would say, hey, my series is continuing. I'm getting a chance to continue making cool games within the series. Even if it's a remake, my series isn't dead and we're going to keep it alive. we're going on for almost 40 years, and we're sitting here talking about a Metal Gear game and a multiplayer that's coming out. And so we should be grateful for that. That's where I stand today. And so I do believe that Konami is in the best place possible after 10 years of kind of having a drought in the Metal Gear series. Phantom Pain came out, Kojima left, and Konami kind of had to try to pick up the pieces. And they finally got the pieces together, and they showcased it in this remake. And then now the multiplayer for it is coming out soon. After that, we will get hopefully the announcement of Volume 2 with Part 4 in it. Let's make sure we leave that in the comments. And then after that, whatever they want to do, whatever remake they feel, I'm okay with, as long as the series continues. And then if they do an original game, this is where this conversation might turn for you guys. But I do believe they also are capable of making an original Metal Gear. And the reason why is because they had 40 years of working with Kojima, basically. And the series, like, I can give this to any fan and they can write a storyline concept that fits the mold of the series, right? So somebody who cares enough about the series will write about Big Boss, or let's just say Solid Snake, or even Raiden, or whatever character you love dearly. You can get a quick look into that. You know, these are the kind of things that I think is awesome. And so for me, go ahead, write the story. Share what you want to see in the comments about, hey, they should make, you know, a story about Ocelot since that's your favorite character. Cool. There's been people who suggested that to me many times. I've also shared my opinion that would be amazing. But he's a spy. He's more of a spy than an infiltrator. He's like hardcore spy. So, you know, whatever. But the point is that the platform, when it comes to what the series is, we already know. We have the imprint of what it is. You got to have amazing boss fights, right? Gameplay wise, there's got to be stealth, a lot of gadgets, some cool, you know, detailed mechanics in there. Just, I mean, we can go down a long list. I got to make a separate video, and I just might. But that is the thing that I think Konami's already touched on and felt and knows, you know. So why not? Why not have that? Okay. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a separate video breaking down how that can work and what Konami can do to make sure they're successful. It's going to be popping up on screen. I'm going to upload it after this video. So watch this, check out the survey, make sure you answer all the questions about what you want to see. Then we'll talk more in the near future. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys on the next one. Take care. Talk to you later.